Hey guys, it's Dr. Baird at Performance Healthcare Online. Today we're going over our strength training workout for low back pain, level 3. So if we're moving on to the third level, it's kind of the second half of the progressions that we're going to do for low back pain. So we're really going to start getting into the strength training component of it. So there are a few things to keep in mind before we get started. One, at this point, you should be relatively pain-free. The pain should have subsided, and if you're not quite there yet, I would stick with the level 1, level 2 exercises. They're still really good for building strength, but they're gonna be a little bit easier on your joints. Number 2 is really make sure you have the hinge and the squat and the lunge movement pattern down, because what we're gonna do is once we have those movement patterns down, we're gonna start adding weight to them. And if you start to add weight to it and the form isn't quite right, you might actually aggravate your back pain, and that is the last thing we want to do with these workouts. So those are the two things to keep in mind before we get started. You should be relatively pain-free. We're now focusing on how do we prevent this back pain from coming back. And 2, you should really have those movement patterns down. I'll put the link down below so you can really practice, but you don't want to do a lot of these movements if those movement patterns aren't down. So getting into it, what we're going to focus on and what we need for this workout, again, another one of these just circular mini bands, just good to have in your repertoire. A lot of exercises that we do with that. We're going to need foam roller. We're going to need an elevated surface. So I use these two yoga blocks, but anything that you can set your weight on that's about 12 inches high. And then again, kind of like a medium-sized weight. So not needing to go super heavy, but something that's going to be a little bit heavier. We're getting into the strength training component, so we do want to have a little bit of a heavier weight. All right, so if you're ready, just head on with me. I'm going to move this to the back of the mat. We're going to start with our bridge exercise. So we're going to start with our mini band. We're going to be on our butts, and we're going to put the band around our knees. And then we're going to keep practicing the bridge that we've done before. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. And what we're going to do is a butterfly bridge. So you're going to press up and you're going to do 10 butterflies. And so butterfly is really just bringing your knees out. You want to be careful that as you start doing the butterflies, that your hips don't drop down. So I'll show you here in a second what that looks like. So a lot of times when people start doing their butterflies like that, they let their hips kind of drop down and they do a weird butterfly like this. So you want to really press through your feet and keep those hips up. Good. And so again, at the top, you should feel a lot of tension in the glutes. So that's what we're going for. We're going for building strength in the glutes, creating tension in the glutes. This is going to be good. I mean, back pain, obviously, but knee pain, pretty much everything, even shoulder pain, core pain, trunk pain can be tied back to weak glutes. So this is an area you really, really want to focus on. Good. All right, so we'll take our band off and we're going to get into some core strengthening. So core strengthening with low back pain, pretty straightforward. We're just going to do an elbow plank, 2 different levels. I'm going to start on my toes, but if that's not feeling good yet or not strong enough yet, it's okay to just start on your knees. All right, and I got the timer for a minute. So there are a lot of different core exercises I'm sure that you can find. If you have back pain, planking, keeping something with not a lot of movement is probably going to be the best thing for you. It's just a safe movement and it's really effective. It's kind of like the bridge. It's just safe and effective. When you're doing strength training to overcome pain, you don't need anything fancy. You just need the basics, and there's plenty that you can do that's going to be challenging and that's going to be safe without putting a bunch of stress on your joints, and that's really what we're going after. So you keep holding the plank. Again, if you're starting to sag or you're putting your hips up in the air to hold the position, it's okay just to come down on your knees and hold it here. but you want to maintain that plank. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're moving into the side plank. So again, same thing. You can start on your feet or you can start on your knees. I'll show you both. So if we're on our feet, feet should be stacked, elbow right underneath the shoulder, and then just lifting the hips up here. You want your body in a nice straight line, and you don't want to be rounding forward like that. So shoulders stacked on top of each other. You can do arms straight up if that helps. And this one we're only going to do for 45 seconds. So keep going on your toes if you want. Again, same thing, but on your knees. It's just going to make it a little bit easier. It's totally fine, but side planking, getting those deep low back stabilizers, one of the most important exercises you can do to start building strength and stability in the back. Nice work. We got 5 more seconds. I just decided to stay down here on the knees just because it's hard to talk and do this. All right, good. Shifting over to the other side. Same thing. Elbow right under the shoulder, feet stacked on top of each other, and go. So again, body's in a nice straight line, elbows stacked, not rounded forward like that, and just holding. Again, you don't want your hips to sink. It's just a nice static hold. Sometimes this can be a little tough on the shoulder. It's not even a core thing. So if that's the case, it's okay. Again, just come down on your knees. Takes a little bit of pressure off the shoulder. If it's really bothering your shoulder and your neck, maybe just stick with front planks. That's fine. Work your way up. And good. All right, now we're gonna be standing. So we combined our single leg strength and our glute med exercise into one exercise. It's called the bowler lunge. So what it looks like, standing on our left leg, we're gonna reach our right leg back, just like that. It's also called curtsy lunge is another name for it. I just like the bowler lunge because I was on a bowling team in college. More of a drinking team. I was never actually a very good bowler. But again, what we're working on is these muscles on the outside of the hip here. So you can kind of reset, just depends on how good your balance is, how strong you're feeling. But again, the longer you can balance on this left leg, so again, just doing a little tap here and a little tap back at the top, it's gonna go a long way. But if you need to kind of reset and shake it out, that's totally fine too. Good. We got 10 more seconds on this leg. All right, switching to the other side. So again, right leg, reaching the left back. And again, we want to feel on the outside of this hip, maintaining your balance. Slow and controlled. Again, a lot of times when people, especially when they set a timer, it's like an instinct to try to just go as fast as you can, get as many reps in that minute. And what we're really going for is slow and controlled. We don't want any sort of wobbly like that, because that's going to create instability at the back, down at the knee. It's just a little bit more dangerous. And again, if we have back pain, we're strength training for back pain, so it's a little bit different. Different goals, different objectives than, say, full-on hypertrophy or bodybuilding, if any of you are into that. Not what we're going for in this exercise routine. Good. Last one. And good. All right, next, we're gonna get into our hinge patterning. So this is where that elevated surface is gonna come in handy. And we're gonna have, again, a weight up onto that elevated surface. And we're gonna do what's called an elevated kettlebell lift. So basically it's gonna be that weighted hip hinge that we did in level 2, but now you're just gonna be lifting the weight from the floor. So once you have it set up, we're gonna put our feet on the outside of the kettlebell. So again, you don't wanna start too far back, because if I reach down, you're already gonna feel it here. So again, feet on the outside of the bell, that same hip hinge back till you get the weight, and then just hinge back up and back down. All right, I'll let you get started. I'll start the timer and we'll get to it. Good. So again, this is one of those movements. It's really important that you have the hinge down before you start getting into this movement. So if you don't quite have it down, I'll leave a couple links down below that you can watch and really make sure that you practice this hinge. But again, it's basically the weight's pulling me straight down as my hips go back. I want to feel all the work, all the tension in my hamstrings. I don't want to feel anything in the low back. If I'm feeling anything in the low back, there's something not quite right with the form. So just kind of reset, maybe go to a lighter weight, maybe go to no weight at all. Just get back into that hip hinge. Again, it does take a lot of practice. It's not as easy as it looks. Last one here. Good. All right. And then we'll set the weight behind us. We're gonna get into our squat patterning. So this exercise is called the air squat and hold. A lot harder than it looks. What I'm gonna do, 5 air squats with a 10-second hold at the bottom. So what it'll look like, I'll just go right to it. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, and at the bottom we're gonna hold. I got the timer, 10 seconds. Taking it easy. I thought about 15 seconds, but I thought, hey, let's start with 10, maybe round 2. Good. All right. We're going to just do it again. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the movement. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, squat's another one. If you don't quite have the squat pattern down yet, maybe stick with level 1, level 2. Good. All right. And right back to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold again. Got 2 more rounds of this. 3, 2, 1. Good. And last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, legs should be starting to burn. 3, 2, 1. Whew. All right, shake it out. And then we're gonna get into our lunge pattern. So we'll start at the top of the mat. We like to do reverse lunges. Again, just a little safer variation. It's gonna target more the hamstring and the glutes, which is really what we're going after. So, top of the mat, we're gonna take a step back and just drop that knee down, press up off this front leg to come back up. And again, we're gonna do non-alternating, so you can really kind of get a burn on that left side. We'll maybe break it up at 30 seconds because it can be tough to do a full minute with the non-alternating. But this is another one. Slow and controlled. Not how many reps you can get in this time frame. What happens a lot of times with lunges, good, we're gonna switch to the right. And it just happened to me there, where you get going so fast, you kind of do this wobble, which again is just not safe if you've been dealing with back pain, been dealing with knee pain. So I'd rather have you really slow this down. Nice work. Anybody else starting to sweat? I'm a sweater, so I don't know if that's saying much. Okay, good. We're gonna go back to the left and We're gonna go again. Slow and controlled. Now, not wobbling, not losing our balance. Again, if lunges are still hard, remember all the way back in level 1, we did step-ups. Step-ups is the easiest progression sometimes if you have knee pain to go along with your back pain. Lunges don't feel great, so you can always keep doing the step-ups. Good. Switch back to the right. Nice work. Should be feeling a pretty good burn on these legs. You got 10 more seconds. This is the most functional of the movement patterns. So walking, running, hiking. Lunges aren't always people's favorites, but they're very important. Good. All right. So we're going to shake that out, and then we're going to start back at the beginning. So give yourself a little bit of a break. Maybe towel off. Should have brought a towel. And then we're going to get right back to our butterfly bridge. So we're going to use our little mini band, throw it around the legs, and we'll get right to it. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So again, we're pressing up, doing 10 butterflies. Main thing, just don't let those hips drop as you do the butterflies. Press through those heels all the way to create tension. Glutes, tension in the glutes. After 10, it's okay to just drop the hips, give yourself a break, press back up, 10 more. Good. Keeping those hips up. Again, same idea, tension in the glutes. The more tension we can create, the more impact, the more pressure that it takes off our joints, including our low back, which is the whole goal of this thing. So it's really important that you pay attention. How much tension are you creating at the top here? I mean, you should be feeling this. And if you're not, keep pressing through the heels even more. Squeeze those glutes. All right, and down. Good. Moving back in to our planks. So again, nothing fancy about this. This is simple, straightforward movements, repeated over time. That's how you get success. Good. All right. So again, you can start on your toes or you can go on your knees. It's just important that you keep this strong plank position and you don't let yourself do one of these or do one of these. Just keep a nice, strong plank position. Remember to keep breathing. Planks are hard. Getting strong is hard. That's why not everybody's strong. You got to put effort in. But when you do, what you get out of it is so much more. You feel good. You don't have to worry about this pain. You don't got to go to the doctor every time. You're able to work, able to have fun, able to enjoy things with your friends and family. That's what we're going for. Good. All right. Back to our side planks. So we're going to line that left elbow up under the left shoulder. And again, you can do feet or knees with this one. But this one, we're just doing 45 seconds. Body in a straight line. Hands straight up. Shoulders stacked on top of each other. Again, side planks, one of the most important areas to strengthen. If it's getting tough, feel free to go down on your knees. Again, we don't want you rocking forward or doing anything crazy. Just be able to hold the position. And if you're not quite strong enough to do that yet, it's okay. Just come down onto the knees. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Other side. We're going right elbow under the right shoulder, feet stacked. Good. Wipe off your sweat. Just like that. Just like me. All right, good. Hold it. So again, shouldn't be any pain with this one, especially in the low back. If it is, it's okay to come down to the knees, maybe do a little bit of extra planks. But at this point in our workout routine, pain should be relatively minimal when we're doing these exercises. Ten more seconds. Starting to shake, feeling good. Keeping those hips up, keeping those hips up. And done. All right, back to standing. We're gonna do our bowler lunge. So all we're gonna do, stand on our left leg, reach that foot back, and back up. You wanna make it a little bit harder, you can go straight into single leg balance. Get a little bit of a balance challenge in there. Again, we really want to feel the work outside of that left hip. Your glute med muscle, super important for single leg balance, single leg strength, making sure you're strong enough to support yourself when you walk, when you run, when you hike, anything you're doing on a single leg. You need that glute med to be strong, and we don't use it a lot in just our regular daily life, so it's important to give it a little love. Good. Last one. All right, on to the right, same thing. Reaching back with the left foot. And again, if you want to add that extra challenge, you can add a little bit of a balance. Nice work. Good. How's it feeling? Should be feeling pretty good. It's probably an exercise you like a little bit more than others. This is it for me. This one's a little bit easier. It's kind of like an active rest, so I like this one. Good. 15 more seconds. Again, pay attention to each side. One side feel harder than the other. The more you listen to your body, the more that it's going to tell you about what it needs. It's not just go through the motions. Really pay attention to this stuff. Good. All right. We're going to get our lifting station back. So we're going to take our blocks, take our weight right on top. Good. All right. So remember, feet right on the outside of the weight, so we're not reaching too far ahead of us, and straight back. Let me get the timer before I forget. All right, good. So again, hips back, get to the weight, and back up. So this is another exercise where, again, really pay attention to what you're feeling. You should, at the bottom here, feel a good amount of tension, a good amount of pull in your hamstrings. It's important that you're able to feel that and to pay attention to that, because when you can create that tension in your hamstrings, it means it's not in your low back. Again, your glutes and your hamstrings should be the strongest muscles in your body and should be doing most of the work, especially for movements like this. So make sure you're paying attention and that you're feeling that tension, because as we progress to a lift, you're going to want to know how to do that. So it's good to start practicing now. But again, just hinging, but the weight's from the ground. All right, good. Getting back to the air squat and hold. I said we'd do 15 seconds this time. I'll hold myself to that. So we're gonna do again, 5 air squats, 15-second hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Stare at the camera. Awkward stare into the camera. Good. Anything to take your mind off it. 3, 2, 1. Good. Right back into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, lost a second there. Didn't start when I clicked. Nice work. Again, the bottom here should really be feeling a burn. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna get into it. I'll go to the side so you can see it from the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. So the other thing I didn't mention with this is even if you have the mobility to go lower, try to stay with your thighs right around parallel. You can go lower, but again, you might get into an unstable position. Good. All right, shake it out. We got one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's what going lower is not always bad, but if you go too low, you can even watch my hips. See how they kind of turn under if I go too low? Again, just an unstable position for the spine. 2, 1. Whew. All right, shake that out. All we got are lunges left. Good. All right, here we go. Top of the mat, starting with the left leg. Coming back, again, slow and controlled with the lunges. Non-alternating. We'll do 30 seconds on each side. Same thing. Pay attention to each side. One side harder than the other. And good. Switch. Right side. Whew. Second round. A little bit harder than the first round, especially after the 15-second holds. Good. And 1, good. Back to the left, 30 seconds left each side. Just got a minute left. Don't stop. Even if you got to take a little break at the top, you don't want to just give up. You want to keep moving. Prove to yourself that you can do this. That's what half this is. Building confidence. Proving to yourself that you can do it. Good. I see it all the time. A lot of people, what limits them, it's not the physical pain, but it's the belief that if they went out and did what they want to do, that they'd hurt themselves. And that's part of the reason why strength training is so effective, because it builds confidence. And that's, I mean, honestly, 75% of people I see, that's what they're lacking. They're lacking confidence in their body. So keep going. Prove to yourself you can do it. Good. All right. We are done. Obviously, you can tell, got me breathing hard. But again, what we're focusing on, creating strength, creating tension to take pressure off of our low back while we improve these movement patterns, the hinging, the squatting, the lunging. So again, I want to thank you for joining me. If you need more resources, check the link down below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be posting weekly workouts, so stick with it. Thanks for watching.